Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. All right, Roxstars, before we get started, I just wanted to talk to you guys about this being my 400th episode of Top of the Blog. I know I had a big celebration for our 300th episode. I had every intentions of doing something celebratory for the 400th episode, and then I just forgot. You guys, there's so much going on in the world, so many things to remember. I just did not remember that this was the 400th episode, but you rock stars, being the rock stars that you are, you guys reminded me in my comments yesterday on Instagram. So I just want to take this time just to say how thankful and grateful I am for you guys. I wouldn't make it here without you. Okay, the fact that you guys tune in every week. And I have a pretty solid following. People do enjoy Top of the Blogs. I enjoy doing them. It's a time for us to kind of just sit back and laugh and kiki about the things that's going on in pop culture. And, you know, sometimes they're sad, but most of the times, you know, we can just kind of laugh at some of the lesser important things in life, take our minds off of all of the bad and horrible that goes on in the world. So that's what I wanted Top of the Blogs to be. And you guys have made that possible. So I just wanted to thank you all. And I'm going to do some sort of celebratory thing. Next year is my 10th year on YouTube. And I'm planning on doing something for that. Not quite sure what, but we'll just save the big celebrations for then. But yeah, like I said, I am really thankful for all of you guys. I know we don't always agree. I know we don't always see eye to eye. I know there are some times where I get on your fucking nerves. Sometimes you get on my fucking nerves, but you know what? We are a family, and it will remain that way, at least as far as I'm concerned. Love you guys all. Let's get to the stories. All right, you guys, so actually before we get to the foolishness, I have a couple of sad stories that I have to start off with. I was surprised. I was shocked. I could not believe last night when somebody put in my, I think it was Nita. Hey, Nita girl. I think she said in my comments that Bobby Brown Jr. had died. And I was like, what? All right. First, when I first saw it, I thought it said just Bobby Brown. And then I saw the Jr. and I was like, not his son. Oh my God, you guys, as soon as I saw that, my heart sank because, I mean, we all know it's well documented. We don't have to go back and forth and talk about all of the pain that Brown family has been through, Bobby Brown in particular. Before we even knew of him and Whitney being together, when we saw his story, when we read his story and his biography, we knew that he had suffered a lot of loss even before he became Bobby Brown. But, you know, we've had the story of Whitney Houston dying. 3 years later, his daughter with Whitney Houston, Bobby Christina, dying. And now here we are, fast forward to 2020, his 28-year-old son, Bobby Brown Jr., dying. They found him yesterday in his home in Encino, California. I don't know how he was found, but I'm assuming paramedics had went to his home. He was dead, 1:50 in the afternoon yesterday. That they're saying that they didn't suspect any foul play, so they don't think that anybody had attacked him or anything like that. And I mean, it's just so sad to say this, but we know of the history of Bobby Brown. His children have had struggles with drug use. Even though they haven't said this, I mean, it is usually it's usually what you suspect, that there may have been some drug use there, maybe an accidental overdose. Like I said, they have not confirmed. They haven't said how he died. Bobby Brown has not come out and said anything. I can't even imagine the pain that he must be going through. It's one thing to follow the natural course of life, and you know, we bury our parents. We are very hurt. We are very sick about it. We cry, we mourn, but it's a different kind of pain. The level is different when I would imagine you would have to bury your child. When you have to bury more than one child, I can't even imagine what that would feel like. And like I said, Bobby Brown is just known that he suffered so much, and I just hate this for him and his family. I mean, a person can only take so much. And it just has been, death has surrounded him and his family for years and years and years. Bobby Brown Jr. was not married. He was, evidently he had a live-in girlfriend that he posted on social media quite often. I don't know what her name is. She was 22 years old. But he was a musician. I'm assuming that he was trying to follow in his father's footsteps eventually. Yeah, you guys, he's a product of Bobby and Kim Ward. You guys know, even if you saw the biography, you know, the movie about him, they were in an on and off relationship, even years before he got with Whitney Houston. Maybe some overlap when him and Whitney were together. Well, definitely so, because, you know, the kids, the ages were very close, but they had like an 11-year on and off relationship, they say. And Bobby Brown Jr. was, I think, the second child that he had with her. She did say yesterday that, you know, she lost her entire world. And like I said, as a mother, or as a parent, period, mother or father, it's just a horrible thing to have to deal with. My heart goes out to them and their family. So prayers up for the Brown family, the Ward family. Y'all say a prayer for your boy Bob. I mean, I think everybody's whole feeling yesterday was like, he just cannot catch a break. You know, every time you think that Bobby Brown is, that the sun is starting to come out from behind the clouds again, then all of a sudden it is a damn storm that passes right over. And that has to be, after a while, it has to be difficult to just continue on, because you start to feel like, I mean, just something else bad is going to happen anyway. So why? You know, I know that's not the way to look at things, but I feel so bad. I feel so bad for him. So yeah, like I say, you guys say a prayer for that family. And this tremendous loss. 2020 is a fucking hoe, you guys. It has been the worst year. I think we're also anxious to get through this year without more carnage. And yeah, as we close it out, here goes another one. So like I said, Bobby Brown Jr. was 28 years old. I don't believe he had any children. He was not married, but leaves behind, yeah, all his family, his friends, you know, all the people who knew and loved him. So rest in peace to Bobby Brown Jr. All right, you guys, and since we're talking about sad stories right now, just a real quick story on Jeremih. You guys know the singer Jeremih. It came out, I guess it's probably been about a week or two now that he had COVID-19. On social media, Hitmaker, what's his name? I can't even remember his name, but you guys know the guy that was the asshole on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood that was giving Hazel Lee all of that stress the first season, and that's why, you know, everybody drew their sides between Masika and Hazel Lee. What was his name? Young Berg. Young Berg, also known as Hitmaker, had posted that, you know, was asking for prayers that his boy was going to shake through this, but that he, I don't believe he actually said that he had COVID, or he may have said that. But shortly after that, then we started to hear from other celebrities that were also asking for prayer. 50 Cent, who actually had done a song with Jeremih back in the day, also tweeted that he wasn't doing well, you know, that this COVID thing was for real and that he was on a ventilator in the hospital. Now, you guys know that COVID-19 takes no prisoners. I told you guys, we just talked about this last week. I just said that, you know, most people think that because they're young and they have a relatively healthy immune system that they will be able to beat that. But we have seen with some celebrities that have gotten sick who were young. I don't know if he has or not just celebrities, but just people in general. We have seen that people have gotten really, really sick with this virus. I don't know if he's had any you know, issues health-wise that would make him more susceptible to it. But Just because you are young does not give you an automatic stronger immune system that can fight this off. And Jeremih is yet another example of that, another proof that COVID is, like 50 Cent said, for real. And I forgot to get how old he was. 30. I'm sorry, I didn't get how old he was, but he's still young. Okay, let it be known, he's still young. If he is even 30, he's in his early 30s, or may even be younger than that. So, yeah, you guys, he's in the ICU. He is on a ventilator. That's never a good prognosis. Before, when COVID-19, all you heard was, we got to make sure we have ventilators. We got to make sure we have ventilators. Then they found that ventilation should be really the very last, resource. That should be something that they do if everything else fails, because the ventilator, actually, your body gets adjusted to being on it. It's harder to get off of the ventilator. Your quality of life drastically goes down, and your chances of making it through that drastically go down. So suffice it to say that Jeremih is not doing well. And like hitmaker like 50 Cent and even Chance the Rapper, who is, he's a Chicago rapper. Jeremih is actually in I always say Jeremih, he is in a Chicago hospital, and Chance the Rapper said that he is a friend of his and that he's asking for everybody to, send a prayer, talk to Jesus, and see if we can help bring him through this. So yeah, you guys, not to be all Debbie Downer and all, but that COVID is tough, and when people get really struck down with it, it's like an eye-opener for us again to remember what do I always tell you guys: social distance, wash your hands, okay, wear your masks. If we can just do those things, then maybe you can, maybe you won't have to be one that suffers from this virus and possibly could be in the same condition as Jeremih. So yet again, another prayer up for Jeremih and his family, and hoping that he makes it through. All right, you guys, so let's lighten up the mood a little bit. Let's talk about the sexiest man alive. So I was watching Jimmy Kimmel the other night, and they had this little segment on the show where they had somebody dressed up in like a big costume, the head covered and all. You didn't know who it was. And he had callers call in and try to guess who this person was, who was going to be named People's Sexiest Man Alive for 2020. People magazine does this every year, where they get together with, I don't know exactly who, but I'm not sure if it's just a staff thing or if they take outside opinions and suggestions. But People magazine was going to be releasing their magazine the very next day. And so, yeah, this was a fun thing to do on Jimmy Kimmel. So people were calling in and asking them questions. And this one black girl just happened to say, she asked him a question. And I don't even remember what the question was, but then Jimmy Kimmel says, well, do you want to guess who it is? And none of the questions had given you enough clues to have any idea who this person might be. And she just out the blue was like, I don't know, are you MichaelBJordan? And he was like, yes, I am. And I was like, oh, look at this. Oh, Michael B. So I was looking at it and I was like, okay, yeah, I do think that it's so funny because MichaelBJordan is very good looking to me. I think he is a handsome guy and everything, but I don't know if I get the sexy. Like, I feel like he's very handsome, very good looking, but I don't know. So when I saw that, but I was happy for him because I was just like, okay, he's cute. I can do this. And then, child, they had the sit. So he had to get out his costume, right? So they had the little sit down with Jimmy Kimmel. He went back in the back, I presume, to change his clothes and then come on out and speak to Jimmy. And child, when he came out, when I tell you, he had on this mustard, it was like not mustard, I'd say more like a copper colored turtleneck, but it was like that shiny and real clingy material. So almost like a, you know, it was a stretchy, like right on his muscles. Okay. So he had on this long sleeves, and then he had on like some wide leg copper pants that matched, maybe a light wool blend or something with like a pinstripe down the side. Child, I was like, Michael, who dressed you, sir? I mean, you know, it was giving me, you know, I'm GQ sexy kind of thing. You know, I mean, I saw where they was going with it, but I was just like, huh. You know, but you know, he's a sexy guy. I just don't know if I feel like he's my sexiest, but you know, somebody has to be named it every year. So, I mean, damn it, why not? Okay. And we like to see one of ours up there. So it's all good. But, yeah, who would you guys, did you guys get the, co-sign on the Michael B. Jordan being sexy? I mean, he is sexy. Like when I think of him in, what was the Creed? You know, when he was in the Creed movies, I actually thought he was sexy because he had, like, you know, we were seeing his body and all of that. But then when I've seen him in other movies, like the Jamie Foxx movie where he was the lawyer, of course, I didn't see him as sexy then. And so it just sort of depends. Sometimes people's sexiness just oozes through no matter what they do. And those are the people that I deem sexy. I don't give a fuck what kind of acting role they are doing. They just always seem sexy, even if they the cornball, if they the, you know, so. But, I mean, I'm okay with it. I think it's his mustache is so Burt Reynolds and full, but he has a huge smile. So, I mean, the mustache fits, but I don't know, you guys. I don't know what it is, but, I mean, I'm good with it. I think I'm all right with it. What y'all think about it, though? Y'all let me know if he was going to be y'all sexiest man alive for 2020. Did you guys agree with People magazine? Okay, now, let's talk about who is sexy and who oozes sex appeal no matter what. I've told you guys about my white boy crushes, right? We got homeboy Chris Hemsworth plays Thor. We've got Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is top of the list. White boy crush. Okay. Number 3 would be Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, we ain't forgot about old Leo. And then you know, if I was gonna say I had a top 5, for sure, George Clooney would hit in that top 5. Okay, maybe he would be my number 5. I don't know who would be number 4, but it feels like somebody would be in there between him and Leo. But George Clooney oozes sexiness. That man doesn't have to do anything. You know, he has gotten older. He's gray. He's, you know, salt and pepper. You can tell he's slowed down quite a bit. And it still doesn't matter what he does. The sexiness is there. He doesn't even have to talk. And the sexiness is there. That's what I mean when I say certain people just ooze it. George Clooney is now, even out of all of those guys, I think George Clooney even has them beat for sexiness factor. He has it. And you can be sexy without being necessarily all that good looking, even though he's both. But, you know, anyway, you guys, why am I talking about George Clooney? Well, let me tell you guys need to have friends like George Clooney. George Clooney has an article in GQ magazine that just recently came out. And he's talking about his life. He is, interestingly enough, talking about a recent brush with death. I'm not quite sure what it is. He had some sort of health scare. I did not read the full article. But evidently, when you go through a major health scare, you know, and you staring death in the eye and you kind of taking, you know, reevaluating your life and just thinking about the things that have happened, I think many people will tell you that it forces you to make some changes. It forces you to recognize some things. And George Clooney is no different. So he says in this interview that he was thinking about his 14 close friends. Friends that have been there for him through thick and thin, before he became George Clooney, while he was trying to become George Clooney. You know, him not having any money, being broke, sleeping on their couches, them giving him encouraging words, being great friends, being there for him when he's suffered losses, when he's had tremendous gains. I mean, these friends have been there through thick and thin. And him being sick and having to just kind of look at his life, he realized that. So, you know, he said that these 14 friends, these were friends that were so close that they were in his will, okay? They will all be taken care of had he walked out the door and was hit by a bus. Those are his words, not mine, you guys. If he was hit by a bus, they'd all be taken care of. He said he thought about it and was like, why would I wait to, you know, take care of these people? What am I waiting for the bus for? So he said that, I'm sure he got with his money people, you guys, and he bought 14 TOTB bags. You guys know those are the high quality leather bags. He filled each 14 bags up with $1 million in cash. And the next day he had his friends come over one by one, and he told them how much they meant to him, how important they were in his life. He showed them a map of all the places that he had been in the world, all the things that he experienced, and that it wouldn't have happened without them. He said, how do you thank friends like you who've done this for me? He says, how about $1 million? And bitch, I'd have been like, okay. Because the way he was talking in this interview was that these aren't friends that are necessarily like Hollywood friends that already got money and $1 million really ain't gonna do nothing. Like, these are just like his for real true blue homeboys and homegirls from back in the day that, I mean, I know somebody sat me down and was like, Roxanne, you've been there through thick and thin, and how about $1 million? You know, I mean, I would be very, very happy, very, very grateful. And I mean, that's got to be such a great feeling to be able to do something like that. I would love to be able to do that for my friends. You know, over the years, you talk to your friends on the phone, you experience things with your friends, and you've seen the struggle that they've been through. And sometimes you just wish that you could do that one thing that would just kind of fix it for them. Or if not necessarily fix it, I mean, it would make things a whole lot fucking better. And $1 million right now, $1 million cash. Okay, even though you're going to have to deal with the IRS and everything, but, you know, if you wasn't expecting it and this money just came free fall like that, like, I mean, that's spectacular. And a special friend, you need to have a friend like George. He seems like he would be that type, and, you know, in the grand scheme of things, $14 million ain't no big hit on this man. I mean, he just sold that alcohol he was a part of. What was the name of the alcohol? I can't think of the alcohol, you guys, but it was a tequila, I believe. Was it a tequila or was it other? It was a bunch of, anyway, you guys, $1 billion. He sold it. So $14 million is a drop in the hat. But for somebody who don't have that kind of money, it's a whole lot of money. And really, it is the thought that counts as well. It's just something that you don't hear every day. And yeah, so I mean, I'm loving that story. I think that is a great thing, and just confirms how I thought that George Clooney would be. You know, he just seems like that kind of guy. And so, yeah, you guys, can you imagine though? Man, oh man. Just wanted to let you guys know about the old sexiness of George Clooney and also his supreme generosity. All right, you guys, next story is an update. It's a follow-up story. xoxo, who does an excellent job of keeping track of celebrity criminal cases that's going on. She is following Tim Norman's case in the murder of his nephew, Andre. You guys know them from Welcome to Sweeties. Well, recently she posted, I don't know if she's posted anything since, but I saw a video of hers last week, I think right after I did Top of the Blogs, of course, that she was talking about these text messages. First of all, there's been another person that's been implicated in the murder. This is the person who I was always kind of feeling like was missing, because they never said that the girl shot Andre, yet Andre was killed by a bullet. The girl I always felt was kind of like the go-between between the actual shooter and Tim. She was the liaison, but we never heard who that person was. Now they have a person. Oh, I did not get his name, you guys, but there is a fourth person that has been implicated in murder as the shooter. Okay. But, she was able to get information that, of text messages between Tim, the actual shooter, and actually the guy who was the insurance agent. Remember, Tim had taken out a policy on Andre in the attempt to collect $450,000 or something like that on his life insurance policy in the event that he died. She was able to get the text messages between Tim and this insurance guy, which is just so crazy because, I mean, he obviously didn't think that nobody would ever suspect him. And they're just talking freely on text message, like as he is trying to set up this life insurance policy. Now, remember, we said that he took out a life insurance policy and we were trying to figure out how he was able to do that, you know, and then people were like, well, you can still take out a policy on pretty much anybody, which I think still sort of kind of stands. But I guess the amount that he was trying to take out would have rang some bells. So what they did instead was Tim was actually acting as if he was Andre. So he was not saying, I'm Tim Norman trying to take this out on my nephew. He was actually acting as if he was Andre. So he was talking with the insurance guy who was trying to get this policy underwritten, and was coaching Tim to they would have phone interviews. And so he was coaching Tim as to what to say to the underwriter so that the loan could get approved, and not the loan, you guys, the policy could get approved and they could do all this. But it's so sinister when you listen to the text messages because, you know, they're pretty much negotiating on this boy's life. You know, Tim is saying things like he's not going to last much longer. I mean, there's even parts when he's saying, like, I haven't seen this nigga in a long time. Like, I don't even know where he is. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I mean, there's no excuse to do something like this, but you would at least have thought that maybe this might have been in retaliation for something that Tim could say that Andre did to him. You ain't even been around this boy. Okay, this boy hasn't done anything to you. And if I remember correctly, I feel like he had moved back to Houston and then he was just back in St. Louis because he was working on his music or something. Was that how the story went? But anyway, the boy hadn't done nothing to you. You just randomly picked him for whatever reason. And I guess maybe he was in the streets or whatever, and you just kind of felt like, you know, there would be, you know, as the streets go, people will say, well, you know, he had some enemies out there and somebody wanted to kill him, and obviously didn't think that Tim didn't think that Tim would be suspected. But yeah, you guys, the text messages are really, really clear. I mean, really the nail in the coffin, if you ask me. I don't know how he would be able to defend himself on that. And then the guy who shot him, from what I understand, the guy was going to the jail to talk to his brother that was in jail and told the brother everything that he had done. I mean, had basically confessed. Child, it's a mess. And it is so, like, it's chilling when you read it, because you just think like, okay, you see on TV and you see on movies and stuff that people are really evil, but you don't think that like in real life, like people do these kind of things. And then you get it in an actual court case and you'll be like, fuck, motherfuckers are really crazy out here. People are really evil. People are really scamming and scheming, plotting on people's lives just to get some money. You know, they negotiating how much it can be. And if it was an accidental death and, you know, that doubles to a certain amount, but it can't go over another amount because it's going to be a physical required and he doesn't want to do that. I mean, I just like it was a business deal, transaction on this boy's life. Terrible, you guys. So, like I said, you should watch XOXO Extra. She's very thorough in the court cases that she covers. I don't think that this is the only court case that she's doing, but this is the hot one that's going on right now. So she posts about it quite a bit. So you guys should check out her channel if you want to, you know, if you want to learn more about it. But yeah, you guys. And then I heard that, and I wasn't actually, okay, so I might have been surprised back when Tim was trying to get out on bail or bond, whatever it's called. He was trying to get out, and he had said that he was going to stay with his mother, remember? And he said that they said that he has businesses, so he wouldn't be a flight risk. You know, he would possibly still be working. And I was like, ain't no way that motherfucker would be able to work. Ain't no way, you know? But anyway, when they said that he was going to be staying with his mother, I was like, You know, I remembered a while ago that the only statement that Ms. Robbie had said was that, you know, she wanted people to pray for her and to pray for her son. And you guys, you know, I guess it's nothing like a mother's love. And I can't imagine still being in the corner of a cold-blooded murderer. But I've never had to face those circumstances, and pray to God I never will have to. But I would imagine it would be very, very hard for me to stay in my child's corner if they did something so horrible. But they're saying that Ms. Robbie is sticking by Tim and that she is supporting him. And I don't know if that means that she thinks that he's guilty or innocent. Because, I mean, I guess you can still be there for your child, even though you know they've made some mistakes, and, you know, they still got to pay the piper. Like, you've done what you've done, so there's repercussions for that. But maybe she's still trying to be for him and be there for him in that way. Or does she not think that Tim had any say in the death of her grandson, Andre? I don't know what it is, but, yeah, there's a rumor going around that Miss Robbie is actually being supportive of Tim. And, you know, like, I just don't even know how you would get to that point. So I can't speak on that. But, yeah, you guys, that is the update. That's the update on that. That case is going full steam ahead. And I guess they're in a discovery phase. So they're trying to get more evidence, and we'll probably find out more stuff. And I mean, if it's anything like these text messages, it ain't going to be good for Tim, you guys, but we'll wait and see. But I just wanted to give you guys that update. Tim and his crew, they're in a lot of trouble. Just a real quick story again. Prayers up for Sinbad. You guys know the comedian Sinbad. We've loved him for years and years and years. We don't see him as much as we used to, but yeah, used to love the Sinbad show, all of that. He has suffered a stroke. And I'm not quite sure how bad the stroke has been. We haven't seen him, or he hasn't had any statements put out, you know, from him. But his people have put out that he is now on a recovery, and that they're asking for prayers from everybody. They say that his wife that he's been married to for many, many years is helping him through this, along with their 2 children together, and that he will be back to make us laugh very soon in the future. But like I said, I don't think that we've heard anything from Sinbad himself. And you guys know how, I mean, strokes, they can be from very mild to very severe. And you know, I have a friend who had a very severe stroke last year. I think I told you guys about him, and it was a blow for sure to his health. I wouldn't want anybody else to have to suffer like that. So hopefully Sinbad's is not as severe, and hopefully when they say that he is on the mend and he will be back to make everybody laugh, that is truly what it will be. So we're going to send up prayers for Sinbad as well, you guys, and for any of you guys who have people who have suffered from strokes and all. I'm sure you guys know how it could be as well. So we just gonna pray, man. We just gonna pray for health, y'all. We gonna pray for health for everybody out there, because it is a lot of us who are sick. And that's physically, that's mentally, and we need it. We need it, especially this year. It's been a rough year. And I don't think people realize how hard, how things affect us that might not even directly affect us. Like just the general temperature in the room of 2020 has been stressful for all of us. We all have suffered some sort of PTSD from this year. So we just gonna pray that we all get the strength that we need to, just push forward, because it's real out there, you guys. So much sickness. But prayers up for Sinbad. Hope you feel better soon.